.org to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart. The free iHeart Radio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 70s Rock Ride, Pink Floyd, Eagles, Van Halen, Tom Petty, Zeppelin, and more. She was an American girl. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search 70s Rock Ride, and listen now. iHeartRadio, free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio. From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the number one preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, A-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, El Paso,
San Antonio, and Silsbee, Texas.
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Turn the Page Tuesday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Coach Stark met with the media. Players got some recognition from the SEC. Joe Cook of Inside Texas joins us at 7:34. Monday Night Football doubleheader. Bijan is his name. Excuse me, Bijan. And Baker Mayfield is getting MVP chance. We've got Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, joining us at 8:17. The Mariners plucked the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers survived the Brew Crew. I'm your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And, of course, we've got our guy Marcus behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, if you want a chance to win a pair of tickets today, make sure you tune in. Make sure you got that new and improved and always free iHeartRadio app. You can use the talkback feature, and we'll give you the keyword a little bit later so you can get a chance to win Judas Priest tickets and Alice Cooper. Let's get right into it because there was a lot that was going on over the weekend. Obviously, the Texas Longhorns go out and have their victory against Oklahoma. And, of course, Coach Sark had to come in and set the tone right away about what he thought on his good, bad, and ugly Monday press conference.
As far as the game goes, you know, I really commend our players for showing some mental toughness. You know, that early in the game, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. You know, obviously we were stubbing our toe a little bit offensively with some penalties, which we cleaned up later on. You know, they get a field goal early on in the game, but then we started to settle in. And, you know, offensively, I think our final 6 drives, excluding kneeling down at the end of the half and kneeling down at the end of the game, you know, we had 6 drives where we had opportunities to score points, whether it was kicking field goals, scoring a touchdown. We missed a couple field goals in there, but I thought we effectively moved the ball and managed the game and controlled the game and controlled the line of scrimmage that way against a very good defense. You know, to only give up 1 sack, they had been leading everything in sacks, our ability to run the ball, our ability to change tempos, and then they were the number 1 third down defense and our ability to convert third downs. And that was all a byproduct of us playing pretty well on first and second down, where we got into more manageable third downs. We were able to convert those things to give us opportunities to score points. I thought defensively, The line of scrimmage was a very key factor in the game. And minimizing the quarterback's legs, but also being sticky in coverage. And so we were able to win on first and second down on defense as well, which then in turn gave us some opportunities to rush the passer, to get some sacks, to get some hits on the quarterback, to force a few errant throws and to create some turnovers. And so 3-0 at the turnover margin. And then again, obviously special teams, and there's some really critical plays there. Obviously the punt return is an easy one to see. A lot of great blocks there and Niblett scoring, but huge punt early in the game by Jack, flipping the field on the second punt. We got no return and great coverage by those guys. And so, all in all, it was a really good game for our guys, and it started throughout the week. I thought we had a great sense of urgency in practice. I thought we were very intentional in our practice habits. And I thought we went into the game and matured as the game went on. And early on, like I said, it wasn't very pretty, but I thought we showed a lot of maturity and mental toughness and resolve, and then ultimately imposing our will as the game went on. So fantastic game for us that way. And now we got to show more maturity. Now, who are we going to be when we played the way we wanted to play? And that's the challenge that we posed to the team this morning. That this is the sign of a team that's mature of, do we get right back to those same habits that we had last week with the intent, with the sense of urgency, making every rep count in practice, and then playing a brand and a style of football that we're very proud of, which is a physical one. The Kentucky Wildcats, Mark Stoops, ton of respect for Coach Stoops and the job that he's done, not only at Kentucky for 13 years, but his job as a defensive coordinator at Arizona, with his brother Mike. I've gone against these guys for a long time. They've got a real style in how they want to play the game. They want to play great defense. They want to minimize the explosive plays. They want to run the football and then create explosives off of the run game. And they do a very good job of that. They've played very good defense all year. They run the football really well. And as we know, playing on the road in the SEC at night, it's going to be a tough environment. And so we've got to buckle up. We got to be ready to go. This is a tough challenge. The one SEC home game they've had, I believe, was Ole Miss at home. And that was a 1-score game down to the end. And they're a top 5 team in the country. So we know we got to work cut out for us. Ton of respect for that program. But we got to be focused on us. We got to be enamored with us and what we need to do to get ourselves prepared to play.
What I loved about the fact is he went right back to being focused. He's like, let's get back to where we are, where we need to be. And that's how, if you're going to come out with that type of intensity, you need to come out with it again this week. You got to have your own mentality of, I'm not going back to what I was just a little while ago.
You need to have your blinders on, basically.
Yep.
You need to be able to not look past. I think Texas looked past Florida and was looking at Oklahoma. I looked at it all over again, and sometimes you can get ahead of yourself. And nobody said that. That's just my opinion. Like we all have them, and you know what they say about that. But I really do think that now Texas has the opportunity to take these games one at a time, because they realize that the other way don't work. And when I say it don't work, I mean it don't work. You look past your opponent and you will get burned. And Kentucky is a good enough team to hand Texas an L. And Coach Sark knows it, because they, like he said, Coach Stoops, great coach, defensive coach. We both like him. We talked to him before. He's like colorful. My wife loved that coaching staff more than anyone that we went and looked at. And so they're leaders of men.
Yeah.
So those guys are going to be prepared. Texas better have all their ducks in a row.
Well, Sark said he's coached against them enough that he knows exactly what they are. But the one thing, you got to walk that line between confidence and a nasty edge, and that is what Coach Sark talked about yesterday.
I don't think it's a line. I think we keep pushing towards that. I think we keep pushing towards playing with that edge, playing with that sense of physicality. But gaining confidence. I think when you have confidence, you're more apt to play that way. And so we've got to continue to instill confidence, but you gain confidence throughout the week by knowing what to do. And that allows you to go cut it loose and play a little bit more freely in all facets of the game, whether that's offense, defense, special teams, line of scrimmage, our perimeter players. And I thought we grew as the game went on that way.
And he also wanted to talk about teams that are coming off of a bye, teams that sit back. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, how they were sitting at home. They got a chance to watch the game. They got a chance to take on all the inventory on how that game was played and what's the key to the success against a team coming off a bye.
One is knowing what we're trying to do in the game, and again, every game is different. How we attacked OU on offense, defense, special teams is going to be different of how we're going to try to attack Kentucky. They've had some extended time to look at what we do. We have to do a good job of scouting ourselves. I'm sure they're going to do some things that our opponents have done in previous weeks that caused us problems. And so we have to kind of, see the forest through the trees here a little bit and not just get so focused on what's right in front of us, but hey, all right, what has happened in the past that was issues in any phase of the game, whether it was the block punt, whether it was some of the pressures that have gotten to Arch, whether it's some of the schemes on offense that hurt us, and prep for things that maybe Kentucky hasn't shown yet, but they clearly could do with some extended time to prepare for us.
And we wanted to make sure that Sark talked about the offensive line and their performance on how did he grade them out.
I thought the offensive line did a really good job. That's a tough front. OU's got a very good front, and they've got some very talented players. They've got a really good scheme. We knew that they were going to cause us issues. We just tried to minimize the negative plays, which is an area where they have thrived. And for the most part, we did. We've got to improve on some things, and we will. But going up against that front and them playing the way they played, we were definitely pleased.
Well, not only were they pleased, they were ecstatic because they dominated the time of possession. Well, not necessarily the time of possession, but being able to dominate the game with the way they ran the football, the way they controlled that second half and dominating it in the third quarter for having it for 11 minutes. That's outstanding work right there. You can't argue that.
No, you can't argue. And I thought the biggest thing about Texas line play was the tenacity. The guys were playing angry.
Yep.
They were playing disrespected because all week, all we did was talk about how many mistakes they made, how they were getting blown off the ball. Texas defensive line was getting pushed back 4 yards.
Exactly.
That didn't happen on Saturday.
Nope.
So, sometimes you got to kick somebody in the rear end. And Texas took it like a man, and they went out there and they performed.
Yeah, they played probably the cleanest game because it was all three levels, and they won the turnover battle. We're just getting started on a Turn the Page Tuesday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. When we come back, we'll hear more from Coach Sark as he talks about Arch, and we'll also hear from Arch Manning, Trevor Gooseby, and so much more. Joe Cook of Inside Texas at 7:34. And basketball season is about to start. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
The voice of the Horns, Craig Way on 1300 The Zone, weekdays at 2.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
We've got issues on both sides of I-35 this morning. Going northbound at Slaughter Lane, a stalled vehicle blocks off the middle of the highway, causing a 20 to 25-minute backup that starts from Highway 45. The opposite direction, I-35 southbound at Howard, a crash blocks off 2 left lanes. Just the right side gets by. It's causing delays to start from Grand Avenue. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Kickstart.
I woke up feeling like cough, congestion, headache was coming on. I thought, no, I have big plans this weekend. So I took Mucinex Kickstart, all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Mucinex Kickstart for relief with a kick at your favorite retailer. Use as directed.
This Longhorn Minute brought to you by Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. The Texas Longhorns made a statement in Dallas, beating Oklahoma 23-6 in a defensive showcase at the Cotton Bowl in the Red River rivalry. Arch Manning was efficient, going 21 of 27 for 166 yards and a 12-yard touchdown strike to DeAndre Moore. Ryan Niblett electrified the crowd with a 75-yard punt return to seal the win in the fourth quarter. But the story of the game was the Texas defense. The Horns held the Sooners to just 258 total yards, forcing 3 interceptions, 2 by returning DB Malik Muhammad, and never allowed a touchdown. Oklahoma's only points came on a long pair of field goals. With the win, Texas reclaims the Golden Hat. The Horns improved to 4-2 and 1-1 in SEC play, sending a clear message that the rivalry runs through Austin. This Longhorn Minute brought to you by Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
Formula One fans, buckle up. The Paramount Theater presents Gunter Steiner live with the Red Flags Podcast, Sunday, October 19th. Join the former Haas F1 team principal and Netflix Drive to Survive legend Gunter Steiner, along with Brian and Matt from the Red Flags Podcast for an unfiltered, laugh-out-loud U.S. Grand Prix recap you won't forget. That's Gunter Steiner live with the Red Flags Podcast, Sunday, October 19th at the Paramount Theater. Tickets are on sale now at austintheater.org.
Your Valpak Blue Envelope of Savings is arriving in the mailbox. Inside, you'll find coupons to dine, shop, and save local. This month, keep an eye out for special offers from A1 Garage Door, the name you can trust for repairs, service, and garage door replacements. And remember, savings don't stop at the mailbox. Visit Valpak.com anytime for instant access to local coupons and deals you'll love. Valpak and A1 Garage Door, opening doors to savings at home.
Celebrate UT football with Dulce Vita Tequila, 100% organic, made with 100% Blue Weber agave. With its vibrant color and fresh citrus finish, Dulce Vita Tequila offers high quality at a value that can't be beat. Hook 'em. 40% by volume, imported by Dulce Vita Spirits, Austin, Texas.
Let's be real, Texas. Round here, egg salad isn't egg salad unless it's made with Miracle Whip. You know it, your neighbors know it. Heck, everyone from Amarillo to Brownsville knows it. That tangy zip of Miracle Whip doesn't just jazz up bland dishes. It's the reason you never have leftover egg salad. So here's to you for keeping it bold, keeping it zippy, and keeping Miracle Whip right where it belongs in all your favorite recipes. Buy Miracle Whip at your local grocery store and get your tang on, Texas.
Hey, it's Sandy. You know, I've been telling you about Apple leasing for a long time. And the other day I ran into a guy that I've known a long time that's been with Apple leasing for a long time. And I said to him, what's the typical response after someone takes delivery of a new car from Apple leasing? And he told me, he said, what's the catch? That's what they always ask. They say it was too easy. They hear it all the time. And they've been doing it for 40 years. They offer world-class service, and saving their clients money is a top priority with their best-in-class easy lease. Their business has grown every year with over 70%. Listen to that, 70% coming from repeat and referral business. That tells you everything you need to know when you're thinking about leasing a car. Low payments, reasonable terms, and a process that is so easy. It's almost too good to be true. Call Apple Leasing today at 346-9977.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. We cover all 40 acres.
Coming up in the next segment, 7:34, our guy Joe Cook of Inside Texas. He'll give us his thoughts on the Red River rivalry, and he will also break down what he's seen so far from the Kentucky Wildcats as the Texas Longhorns make that trip to Lexington this weekend. And, of course, you can hear all the action right here on your home for Texas football with the voice of Texas football, Craig Way, right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on that iHeartRadio app. Kickoff will be a little after 6 o'clock. We will do our pregame show starting at 3 o'clock this Saturday, and you can hear all that right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Also, I want to give a shout out to Malik Muhammad, who was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Malik had 2 interceptions and was an integral part of the success of that Texas defense. Another player that was selected to be the Colin Simmons was selected as the co-defensive lineman of the week, 2.5 sacks, along with 5 tackles. And Ryan Niblett, with his performance with that 75-yard punt return, was honored as the co-special teams player of the week. Mark, you picked 3 guys out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You picked Malik Muhammad, you picked Colin Simmons, and you picked Trey Wisner. All those guys did what they were supposed to do. Trey didn't get an award for it, but he got the award from his team because of his performance. So outstanding stuff right there. But let's continue with Coach Sark as he talked about Arch's progress in the areas of improvement.
I think one thing that Arch has done, he's been very even-keeled in, he's continued to work at his craft. And I think that, last week he had a ton of third down conversions and he used his legs on one. I think he had 7 other completions on third downs for conversions to a variety of different people. Not all of them were on schedule. There were some off schedule. And that's a strength of his, his ability to use his feet, use his legs, and still throw well on the run. I thought what he's doing better is keeping his eyes up and keeping his vision up. And it's hard as a quarterback when you're getting hit. It's hard to not look at who might be coming to hit you, but I think he has really improved at that. And, there was a play that stood out. There was a conversion to Parker backed up on third down where, there was some pressure internally up inside. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, Arch may have looked at the guy that's rushing. I think he felt the rush, flushed the pocket, kept his eyes up, and might have arguably been the best pass he's thrown all year. And what a critical play that was, hitting Parker on the sideline. So I think it's his comfort in the pocket, feeling the rush, not looking at the rush, and extending plays. I mean, the third down conversion to Ryan Wingo, the third down, there's a conversion to DeAndre Moore on our sidelines. There's another, big play to DeAndre early in the game where he gets flushed to his left and finds DeAndre over the middle of the field. So I think it's him keeping his eyes up, feeling the rush. I think there's growth there, and I feel like he's throwing the ball. I like to call it, he's throwing catchable passes. There's nice touch now coming on the ball. He's doesn't feel so anxious, and I think there's some growth there.
I think he's done a really good job too of what Coach Sark said, feeling that pressure now and still looking downfield instead of thinking I'm about to get destroyed, because that's what he's been used to. And as I said, I believe that Florida game was his coming of age of I gotta not worry about all the other stuff and just go out here and play football.
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to Florida, but you can go right back to this past Saturday, inside the 10. Arch steps up in the pocket, scrambles about 3 steps to the right, and he throws a laser. He could have ran for like 10 yards. There was nobody in front of him. But he threw the ball because he had his eyes upfield, and he threw it, I mean, as perfect as you could throw a ball. He threw it where only his man could get it. And I said, wow, that's a grown-up throw right there. And he kept doing that. That's the thing. Guys, sometimes you have to, God bless me to have experiences like that. I plateaued at times where I couldn't do more than what I did. And then when I was able to finally do it, I was able to bust the cap and be able to do more. That's what Arch is going through. He made a move that is going to pay dividends for him down the road.
Yeah. And some of that is coming off of script, and what that touchdown was off script, and Coach Sark talked about it.
And I know there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. I don't overcoach that aspect of the game. You'll hear the players talk about Sunny Glen Park. That's the park that's down the street from my house off of Red Beam Avenue in Torrance, California. That, when you're at the park, it's like me, you, and a couple other guys, and it's like, okay, get open. I'm all-time quarterback. And so when you go to scramble, yeah, there's some parameters that you put around it, which we do. But at the end of the day, you got to play. And now you're playing the game of football. And part of that comes from playing together too. And now these guys have 6 games under their belt, and they have a little better feel for Arch of where he's moving and when he's moving and where that ball can go. But that's where you recruit football IQ as well. And I think DeAndre's got a great one. DeAndre's touchdown, that wasn't the route he was supposed to run. He was on a different route, but when the coverage busted, the feel from DeAndre and then Arch to recognize it to make the throw. And that's no different than some of the third down things that are happening there as well. And so Emmett's got a great feel. Ryan's got a great feel. But at that point, you need to play football. But then for the quarterback, it comes down to decision-making, right? When it becomes, you're playing and when it can become reckless. And we never want to be reckless in those situations with the ball because the ball's paramount in the program. And so, but Arch has the ability to do that. And I'm sure he and his uncles and his brother have been in the backyard, messing around playing. And that's what those moments become. And he, he definitely has been doing that. And in the last 2 weeks, we're really starting to see more of that. And it's become a weapon for us.
When was the last time that you heard somebody reference the all-time quarterback position?
We still talk about it now.
When
the kids are outside playing.
When you're so good at playing quarterback that you have to play for both teams, it's unfair for you to be on one team. That's what he meant by being the all-time quarterback, because there's a lot of young people that listen to our show that didn't know what he was talking about. But all us old heads, like we knew what he meant. If Arch is that guy, he just called Arch the all-time quarterback.
Well, it's just,
and that's a great distinction to have.
Well, he's referring to the fact that you learn how to throw to different guys on the run. You get to move around. You get to do different things. And that is something that we're starting to see from Arch. As I said, the confidence in the quarterback position in which he's playing with right now is something we've been begging for from the very beginning. We got a chance to spend some time with Clarence Hill, and he was talking about how he grounded he dirted the first ball against Ohio State. Now, if we run that play to start a game, I guarantee you he hits that throw.
Right.
Because he's gotten better. He understands. He's calmed down. The game is
and he's
slowed
not
down.
gripping it. He's just relaxing and letting it happen.
The game slows down for you.
Yeah.
And that's what he's seeing. But he was asked about waving to the crowd. And after he got that big run, he knew that the game was over. And they were asking, why'd you wave to the crowd?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the emotion of the game. I have a lot of respect for OU, that defense. I thought I was sore last week, but seeing Mateer play, that was inspiring. He's a really good player, and that was just the emotion of the game. That's not the kind of guy I want to be, but rivalry game, and I was just waving at our fans.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. We know you weren't.
And you know his mom ripped him because she ripped him early in the year. Act like you've been there before.
That's not the guy he want to be.
No, that's exactly who he wants
We've
to be.
seen your swag, Arch. We've seen your swag. And everybody said you talk trash in the locker room. So it's okay, man. You earned that. You busted your behind to get that victory. It's your first game that you get to play.
They don't want him to
rivalry.
do that.
And he got to wear the gold hat. Good job, man. Sometimes you got to let that thing go because people were giving him crap because of him stepping over the kid from Sam Houston State. People were still talking trash about that. Well, here you go. Played against the team that was ranked number 6. We came out, we punched you in the face, and now I'm waving to you because your fans are leaving. My fans are still here.
They were headed for the exit.
They were already gone. So don't be mad at me for waving at y'all.
We looked at the crowd.
Yep.
And it was burnt orange and gray seats.
Yep.
Because cement blocks, because all of the crimson and cream was out.
I think Craig says cement. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll come back to you tomorrow, man. But I want you to play this Trevor Gooseby real quick because he was asked after the game, did he feel like there was added pressure in blocking for Arch?
I would say a little bit of added pressure, but, that just means that we have to be stronger mentally, mentally stronger, especially Arch as well. And Arch does a really great job with it, blocking out the noise. I'm really proud of him for that, and I'm really proud of our line for that.
Yeah, they were in there getting ready they were in the equipment room, so they were trying to close up the boxes to get up out of there. Coming up next, we're going to talk to our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas, as he breaks down what he saw at the Red River rivalry, and we'll close out the hour. SEC basketball polls came out, and the ladies are doing their thing as always, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
An accident just cleared on 183 southbound at Oak Knoll Drive, but speeds are still very slow starting from Anderson Mill Road. Delays are growing due to a crash on I-35 southbound at Howard Lane that blocks off 2 left lanes. You're now backed up from Highway 45. And there's a 30-minute slowdown for a stalled vehicle in the middle lane on I-35 northbound at Slaughter. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex 12-Hour DM.
Not today, cough and chest congestion. Most medicines let mucus build back up after 4 hours. With just one pill, Mucinex 12-Hour works continuously to break up mucus and move it up and out. Mucinex 12-Hour. Rid the congestion. Kill the cough. Use as directed. Kill the cough with Mucinex 12-Hour DM.
Hardball Hardge here. Austin, you like bone-in? Get the Friday lunch special at the Yellow Rose. A voluptuous 16-ounce certified Angus bone-in ribeye at the Yellow Rose for just $20. A steak so good, you'll forget to look up. Fridays at the Yellow Rose ain't just lunch. It's a feast for VIPs. Comes with a side and the best view in Austin. Get a $20 steak ribeye Fridays from noon to 9 at the Yellow Rose Cabaret. And get your weekend football action with watch parties there too.
And Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Get ready, Texas. Silencer Shop is opening the all-new retail showroom in Liberty Hill. Explore interactive silencer displays, connect with knowledgeable staff, and join us for special events. Coming soon. Make your firearms better at Silencer Shop.
Austin, are you ready for the ultimate showdown? The Formula One United States Grand Prix takes over Circuit of the Americas October 17th through 19th. The fastest cars, the fiercest drivers, the loudest crowds. The party keeps going as Kygo, Garth Brooks, and the Turnpike Troubadours light up the stage at night. It's racing. It's music. It's Texas size. Get your tickets at thecircuit.com. That's thecircuit.com.
It's football season, and whether you're filling up at halftime or feeding the whole team at home, Tumble 22 brings the heat. Kick off lunch with the crispy hot chicken sandwich stacked with pickles. And if you sneak a slice of peanut butter pie, we'll call that a win. Family dinner? We've got tenders the kids love, sides that score big, and family packs starting at just $25.99. Game plan for the weekend? Cold drinks, scratch-made sides, and hot chicken fried fresh every time. Tumble 22 Texas hot chicken done right. Good food, good people, game day flavor.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Victor Wembanyama dropped in 27 to help the Spurs crush the Pacers in preseason play. Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb battling a high ankle sprain, expected to return to practice tomorrow. Could play Sunday against the Commanders, who lost to the Bears last night. Dodgers survived the Brewers' late rally, take game one of the NLCS. Mariners smacked 3 homers, crushed the Blue Jays, take a 2-0 lead in the ALCS. I'm Ron Moss.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Find it behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
Sports season is in high gear, and iHeartRadio's got it all. The NFL.
It's a touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Baseball postseason.
Tail time in game 1.
College football, the NHL, and the NBA is about to tip off. It's all right at your fingertips on the iHeart app with play-by-play podcasts and local stations where you can join the conversation.
I agree with the last caller. We got to be done with that guy.
Join the millions who are already doing it. Open the free iHeartRadio app now. Sports on iHeartRadio, where fans live it.
Join the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, each day from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
It's Tuesday, so that can only mean one thing. We got to go to our guy from H-Town, but he lives in Austin. Here's our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. You can follow him at Joseph Cook 89. Joe, Texas went up to the Red River rivalry and handled their business against the Oklahoma Sooners. You gave out grades. You had your thoughts going into the game. Was everything better than what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by what the Texas defense was able to do. And I had figured that even with John Mateer starting, there was going to be some good for Oklahoma, some good for the Texas defense. But one of the things that I wrote is way back in the day when Pete Kwiatkowski was at Washington, he would shut down the Mike Leach air raid. And Sark talked last week about how Ben Arbuckle has a little bit of a different spin. He's added the quarterback run game. And I think it was pretty clear that they did not want to risk John Mateer in the run game, whether that was because, as they had mentioned, they didn't get enough reps with him, or, they didn't want to put that thumb at risk. They didn't want to really risk anything with him in the run game. And so as a result, that offense looked a lot like the one that Mike Leach used to run. And so Pete Kwiatkowski was just doing his thing like he did in the early 2000s over up in the Apple Cup. So that was a little bit of surprise. The other surprise was, I had anticipated Texas on offense was going to try to spread it out a little bit, maybe try to get the Sooner offensive line moving around a little bit and bringing on some lighter personnel. But what they did was they still kind of went heavy, and they still tried to run the football, but they did it with that outside zone running scheme. Mm-hmm. And so that moved the picture a lot for the Oklahoma defensive front to where they really couldn't get a lot of penetration. And Trey Wisner knows how to use that scheme. Texas played ball control in the third quarter and then the second half. And then, of course, you get there were blocks in the back, but guess what? They weren't called. Oklahoma's gotten a couple good calls over the past couple weeks to help them win some games, and Texas got one there to help seal the win.
Coach K did a really good job of scheming that defense. One of the things that Hardge and I talked about with Craig Way and Roger Wallace was that they needed to force him to run to the left. And we saw that last night with, Josh Allen being forced to run to the left, and he couldn't make throws. Like, don't you think that scheming, we always talk about the scheming on offense, the scheming on defense is just as important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be able to scheme opportunities up, especially against that Sooner offensive line was, not as good as John Mateer's stats made it seem like. They were just a group that, of course, had been pretty banged up by injuries and continue to be banged up by injuries. But that was a group that was pretty vulnerable. And they, changed the picture on that Sooner offensive front pretty often. Were able to get into, after Oklahoma was basically converting third downs at a pretty good clip in the first half, that changed in the second half. They got the enough hits and enough confusion for Mateer to where they were in third and longs, and then they weren't picking up those third and longs. But yeah, of course, making sure Mateer, on that bum thumb is rolling to his left. That was something that they did and did pretty impressively. And, that even when he rolled to his right, I think that's where at least I think all three interceptions may have been when he was rolling to his right too. So a little bit of everything from PK and getting his guys in space to go pursue the Oklahoma quarterback.
We're talking to Joe Cook of Inside Texas. You can follow him on social media at Joseph Cook 89. And Joe, there was a lot going into this game talking about the offensive line. We gave Oklahoma a ton of credit the way that they were able to hold up on the defensive line. But that Texas offensive line shows some toughness, some nasty, and they looked very cohesive this week.
Yeah, I think the term that everybody was using after the Florida game was moving the line of scrimmage. And then you can see a lot of instances of Texas moving the line of scrimmage there on Saturday. And that doesn't mean guys like David Stone and R. Mason Thomas and even Jaden Jackson didn't have some plays. But when you're holding the ball for 7.5 minutes on a drive, and then you force a 4 and out or a 3 and out, and then you're holding the ball for basically the rest of the quarter, like those guys are going to get tired. And when you're running, this team is not well equipped right now to just bang it through with inside zone. They're going to have to pull some guys, or they're going to have to, as they did, move the picture, get guys running laterally, and try to make them be able to hold up, going side to side first. And Oklahoma just wasn't up for that in the second half. And I think that was the big surprise. And we've talked about on Inside Texas a little bit how when you have Brent Venables' defense that, it utilizes a lot of different movement and utilizes a lot of different ways of trying to reset the picture. Sometimes you can force guys to move their way out of a play without a person really do anything. That happened a few times. Trey Wisner was able to reap the benefits, and even Arch Manning. They did not press the Arch Manning button all that often when it came to the run game. I think he had maybe 4 total rushes, and I think since 1 or 2 of those were sacks, 2 were designed. There was one where he ran to the left on the 3rd down, and then there was one where he ran up the sideline and waved goodbye to the Sooners. So they played that game straight up and with honor and won it without trying to deceive or do anything too funky against that defense. They just straight up beat them.
Joe, we didn't hear anything about Jared Gibson being in injury protocol. Like, is he in the doghouse? Because to not see him is kind of troubling.
Yeah, and Sark even mentioned something earlier in the week that the reason they didn't see him in Florida in his hometown was because he's their short yardage back. And it was like, well, we didn't have very many short yardage opportunities. And, I tend to think that that's generally true. But there were some short yardage opportunities, and maybe there was some tempo games that Texas wanted to play. And maybe there was some, other things that the Longhorns were trying to, take advantage of. But you saw more of Trey Wisner. You saw more of James Simon. I think what we've kind of learned at Inside Texas is the reason Sark talks so much about practice and consistency with those guys is Jared Gibson, when he gets in the games, he's got trouble with ball security. And where does that come from? That comes from practice, where he's got trouble with ball security. He's immensely talented. There may not be a tougher runner. Well, I don't know. Trey Wisner's up there. He may be the second. He may be the second most tough runner. I don't call him the baby rhino for no reason, but running backs got to have the football in their hands, and that may be one of the things that's still limiting his capability to get on the field, and a little bit of the fit. James Simon had some good runs in that outside running scheme. That's where Wisner's experience came into play and really showed itself. So, still some learning curves. And hey, this is depending on what happens with CJ Baxter. It's kind of touch and go on a weekly basis with him. It feels like there's probably going to be some more opportunities for a guy like Gibson at some point, but he's got to earn it. And as Sark has said so often,
we're about to let you go with this. Tell us about what you've seen so far from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a very, a team with a very flawed quarterback room. They tried to tap into the Incarnate Word pipeline, and despite what Zach Calzada did in San Antonio, it hadn't really translated to the SEC. Who would have thought after he really wasn't doing much at A&M and Auburn? Cutter Boley is, someone they've got from the state of Kentucky. Played, and he played tough, but he didn't play well against Texas last year. So they've got that. They have a good running back who has served his penance to society, and Seth McGowan kind of served his penance to football and going, I think, from either Butler University or Butler CC to New Mexico State after, washing out of OU, and is now at Kentucky. He's their run game along with Dante Dowdle. But there's not a lot of talent on the perimeter, and the Mark Stoops defense that has been sound for so long. It's just, they're not building they're not getting the talent that they were able to once coach up. A lot of those guys who are doing well at Kentucky, if they do well, another team comes calling. And so the cracks in Kentucky are kind of starting to show, but that doesn't mean they're not going to play tough. Mark Stoops always seems to throw wrenches in plans and night games in the SEC on a long road trip for a place Texas has literally never played at. Always going to be tough. But I'm looking at this game. It's another instance where it's really hard for me to see Kentucky scoring a lot of points. We'll see what Texas is able to do. Maybe this is another 23-6 type game.
Right.
But it's a game where looking across at the Wildcat offense, there's really not a whole lot that scares you. And if there is something, it's a one or two person thing. It's not really how they run the entire operation.
There he is, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Make sure
Thank
you
you,
check
Joe.
him out at Joseph Cook 89. Safe travels, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, there he is, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Coming up next, we're going to close out hour number 1. Texas basketball right around the corner. Some people got recognized on the women's side right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Text Texas, followed by your message to 81530 to chat along with your favorite sports radio AM 1300 The Zone hosts. That's Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
An accident just cleared on 183 southbound at Oak Knoll Drive, but speeds are still very slow starting from Anderson Mill Road. Delays are growing due to a crash on I-35 southbound at Howard Lane that blocks off 2 left lanes. You're now backed up from Highway 45. And there's a 30-minute slowdown for a stalled vehicle in the middle lane on I-35 northbound at Slaughter. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
In 20628.
Get all your home fall tune-ups from Abacus for only $49 each. A water heater flush, an AC tune-up, an electrical panel inspection, or a mainline drain cleanout. But only at Abacus. You can count on us.
Mark Henry here. If you want to start your day the sweet way, I have just the place for you. Shipley's Donuts in Dripping Springs. Since 1936, Shipley's has been a Texas tradition, and they've been putting out hot, fresh donuts and kolaches every morning. Swing by 13341 West Highway 290. Open at 5 a.m. daily. Classic glaze, savory kolaches, joy in every bite. You on your way to school, work, practice? Skip the line. Order ahead on the Shipley's app. Fresh, fast, delicious. That's Shipley's in Dripping Springs. Take it from me. They're the best.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you invest for the life you want, because you've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a human connection. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right. You're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart or go to iHeartAdvertising.com. That's 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here's done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay out for earlier cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month. Plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text EDGE to 321321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 321321. That's EDGE to 321321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBT AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges. At the Bob Woodward Foundation, we invest in solutions to help support them in the next chapter of their lives. Learn more about our work at bobwoodwardfoundation.org/success.
Hey, it's Coach Sark. Now back to the morning kickoff with Hardge and Henry on your radio home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Now is your chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest October the 25th at the Germania Insurance Theater. All you got to do is get over to that iHeartRadio app, the one that you're listening to right now on AM 1300 The Zone. Tap that red microphone.
Tap it.
And leave the keyword is the keyword for today as you get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest October the 25th at Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Make sure you're listening to the Craig Way Show this afternoon, as he is the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and we are your home for Texas Longhorns, but he'll have his show starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You don't want to miss it. All right, let's get right into it. Texas basketball the season is just around the corner. You know how I know? Because media days start today for all of these teams. And SEC women's poll came out. Texas is the #2 team behind South Carolina, who just lost their big post, Chloe Pitts, who says she's out for the season as she tore an ACL. So she is going to be out. Madison Booker is the preseason player of the year in the SEC. And Rory Harmon is on the second team as of right now. So when the voting was cast, that's what the results were. Rory, second team. Madison Booker, who has already been the player of the year multiple times. Now she will go for that again this season.
Do they have a preseason defensive player of the year?
They do. Let me see who they have listed on here.
Because Rory is such a defensive juggernaut at the guard position. Like, she's got to be in the top 3.
She is not. She is not. She is not listed as the defensive player of the year.
So I really want to see who's above her. I mean, I'll do it investigating later.
Yeah. So the conference is set up like this: South Carolina #1, Texas #2, LSU 3, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi State, Florida, Georgia, Texas A&M, Auburn, and Arkansas are rounding out the SEC conference. Texas men, they will be taking the podium as well tomorrow as they get ready for SEC play. They are predicted to finish 9th in the SEC which is kind of crazy when you sit back and you think about all the changes that have happened here at the University of Texas, the new coaching staff, the fact that you brought in all these different players that have had success elsewhere, and they're like, well, they got to do it in the SEC before we can give them their love. So maybe that's how that's all going down.
Well, I mean, I think that's a mistake because you have a coach that he's never been that guy. He's never been the bargain basement coach. And I'm sure that he is that up on the bulletin board right now. His team is going to come out playing with their hair on fire, and teams are going to they're going to reap the benefit of a serious loss,
right?
Because they're going to be playing real angry.
So the men's top AP rankings, top 25 rankings for the SEC teams, number 1, Purdue, and number 2, Florida. Number 2, Houston. But then the SEC teams, you have Florida coming in at number 3, Kentucky coming in at number 9, Arkansas 14, Alabama 15, Tennessee comes in at 18, and Auburn finishes in the top 20. The question is, Auburn dealing with the loss of their new coach, of their old coach, Bruce Pearl. His son, Stephen Pearl, is taking over. So we will end up seeing what happens moving forward. But
they lost 2 stars last year, too.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit different for them. But as I said, they will be on SEC Network today as they get ready for SEC play. It tips off this afternoon for October the 14th and the 15th. They will be breaking down all things about the SEC because basketball season for Texas starts November the 4th against Duke. It will be in Maui. Craig Way and Cam Parker will be in Maui with the call over there. So it's
how did Cam weasel his way into going to Hawaii?
Cam is in the middle of it all, man.
I'm just done now.
Yeah, Cam is the guy, man. What you mean, Cam?
Man, I want to go.
Yeah, I'm sure you do want to go. I'm sure you can find a way to get yourself over there. It wouldn't be the first time.
I'm sneaky.
But yeah, so basketball is here. I can't wait. The women's games are exciting. We got a new coach in men's basketball. Hopefully we'll have some conversation with him shortly to kind of get his thoughts on the upcoming season and checking out what's going on. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. We've got the NFL recap of week 6, and I'm going to have to make this dude say his name. Say his name. It's about that time. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Hardball Hardge here, and I've been taking Human Super Beats, but until recently, I didn't know the full story. Human was founded out of the UT Health Science Center and built on groundbreaking research around blood flow and nitric oxide. And Super Beats supports blood flow and nitric oxide. Just 2 chews support healthy blood pressure, blood flow, and energy. And with clinically studied ingredients shown to provide nearly 2 times more effective blood pressure support than diet and exercise alone. And that's why the Longhorn's secret weapon is Human. And why do you see the logo on the field? Is because they have decided to partner with the University of Texas. Longhorn Nation, this is for us, from us, and it matters for all of us. For a convenient way to support healthy blood pressure, go to livehuman.com with 2 N's with the promo code Mike for an extra 20% off your first order. Heart health is everything. Go to livehuman.com with 2 N's with the promo code Mike. With only 4 teams left in the playoff picture, who do you have pulling through to this year's World Series? Catch every pitch for the championship series at Twin Peaks, where the bases are loaded and the 29-degree drafts are up to bat. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
iHeart presents
The police coming straight from the underground.
Ice Cube, bringing truth to power.
Am I ever? Then a natural born killer.
You know how we do. Featuring 4 decades of attitude, a musical production like he's never done before. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th. Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour. 4 decades of attitude.
Before hip-hop, homies got shot.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
I'm here now with Colin Plume, CEO of Noble Gold Investments. Colin, tell the audience what you just told me about cash savings accounts.
I was explaining that parking too much cash in savings is a risky strategy. It's an old school portfolio management. Beyond the obvious banking risks, today's economic environment is destroying the dollar's value. Savers can't keep up with the three-headed monster of inflation, money printing, and rate cuts.
If cash is losing value, then what should people be moving into?
With the dollar under pressure, more Americans are shifting retirement savings into something real. Physical gold and silver. When the dollar falls, precious metals rise.
And Noble Gold makes that process easy?
Very easy. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The conversation is free and the peace of mind is priceless.
That's the Golden Minute. Don't let inflation steal your savings. Protect it today with Noble Gold Investments. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Life in Austin moves fast. Work deadlines, weekend plans, and more errands than you can count. Feeling stretched thin? With Airtasker, getting help is easy. Post your task, set your price, and let local taskers handle the rest. Whether it's tackling a quick fix or finally checking off that big project you haven't had time for, Airtasker has you covered. Download Airtasker today or visit us at airtasker.com and spend less time juggling tasks and more time enjoying your life. Airtasker. Get anything done.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
The free iHeartRadio app.
Live radio, 24/7 news, live sports,
and your favorite podcasts.
A pure connection to what moves you.
The best part, it's all free.
Join the millions who already have it on their smartphone. The free iHeartRadio app.
The #1 app for radio.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Kickoff. Good morning, Kickoff.
It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of a Turn the Page Tuesday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In hour number 1, we heard from Coach Sarkisian as he praised his football team on their victory against the Oklahoma Sooners. We also heard from Arch Manning, and we heard from Trevor Gooseby talking about the team. We also gave shouts out to Malik Muhammad, who was named Defensive Player of the Week. Edge rusher Colin Simmons was selected as the co-defensive lineman of the week, and Ryan Niblett was honored as the co-special teams player of the week. So
why number 1? Because I'm the one.
The honors continue to roll in for the Texas Longhorns. If they can continue this, it will be a special, special week. That was one of the biggest questions as we got ready for this matchup, is now you have to transition from the team that was on fire and mentally locked in to now staying locked in to go on the road to take on a Kentucky team that is going to come out and punch you right away. They're going to have to, because if not, it could be a long, long weekend for them. But right now I want to transition to the NFL. Last night we had 2 ball games. The Chicago Bears win on a game-winning field goal. As time expires, they defeat the Washington Commanders 25-24. The Commanders, all they had to do was run the ball out, run the clock out. But nope, they decided that they couldn't handle a handoff, and they fumble and give the ball right back to the Bears. The Bears have been on some bad luck sides of these things, so it's always good for the Bears to get the win. But the story of the night happened in the ATL, and it is one guy named Bijan Robinson.
Penix, a 1st and 5. Robinson off the right side, breaks free. Bijan Robinson spinning down the sideline, still going. Can they catch him? They cannot. Touchdown, Falcons, 81 yards.
Bijan Robinson has been basically anointed by not Mark Henry, but by his coach.
I keep saying it. He the best player in football.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. That's all you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't sound like his team believed.
Oh, they know. They know. They know. There's only one person that does not know. And he's sitting across from me.
No, I told you that I'm just not crowning the dude until he proves it.
What
he is
more does he
proving
need to
he is
prove?
currently proving it.
Yeah.
He is doing a great job of proving it. But until they hand him the crown of the leading rusher of the league, I'm not doing it. I respect the dude.
You know, Bijan got some comments for you about that.
I got a question.
Hey!
A lot of people doubt you. It's very discouraging to see and to hear because you just continue to prove them wrong. So how do you feel about just continuing to prove people wrong every single week, every single year? I don't understand it, but can you explain?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't understand it either.
I don't know why y'all manufacturing hate.
No manufacturing.
Because I'm not hating on him.
We got a clip from earlier. Do you please find that clip? Because this is why people always ask, why y'all always arguing? Why y'all always debating like this?
Because you're emotional?
No, because I see things that you don't see. Because I want you to go back to, wow, I'm right. I want to hear I'm right again. Come on, man.
Because I'm usually right.
Not usually.
I mean, every now
I
and
was
then.
ruined. It's kind of stuck in my throat there. Stuck in my throat. Ralph, look. I was ruined.
Yeah. You couldn't get it out. You can't. You said you can't say it. Why can't you say it? Why can't you give Bijan his flowers?
Bijan is very skilled. Oh my God. And one of my favorite University of Texas players. But Hardge, you're trying to make me do something that I'm not going to do.
238 yards of total offense yesterday. You just said he's got to get the crown of the rushing. He's not going to get the rushing title. He's an ultimate
How do you
weapon.
know?
He's an ultimate weapon. They lined him up at
They
wide
said
receiver.
the same thing about Marshall Faulk.
And what was he?
And Marshall was the lead. He was the guy.
He never led the league in rushing.
He never led it in rushing, but he led in the most scrimmage yards in a season twice. So
you need to have it twice?
No, he don't have to have it twice. He just got to have it. I'm talking about Marshall Faulk. Why are you trying to do this?
You got the ultimate weapon. You got Bijan Robinson. You got the ultimate.
He's got to prove it to me.
What?
Hey, listen,
Mark.
I'm not.
A lot of people like to agree with you just because you're Mark, but I'm telling you right now, no, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. Mark, please tell me that this is a bit for you. I need this to be a bit for you because then I'll continue to play along with it. But if you're honestly sitting here telling me that you do not believe that Bijan is not one of the best players, but he is the best player at this time.
He's better than Saquon Barkley?
At this time in the league right now? Yes.
Has he ever rushed for 2,000 yards?
No, I said right now. I'm talking about
right this very moment.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Statistically, yes.
Okay, that's where I was going. Thank you, sir.
That's not a great indicator of your greatness because right now in the season.
Did you not? Does his last season don't go into account either? Did the season before that? Is it finally that the team, an offensive coordinator has finally
You can fold it however you want to.
It's fresh laundry.
No, it's
fresh
not.
laundry.
It's not. It's stinky, dirty laundry.
It's fresh laundry.
That's been sitting in the back of the couch.
No, I don't know. I just can't even understand. He's projected this year, to have 1,600 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving.
That would be awesome. That would make him the guy. And he'll get his crown when he gets it.
Okay. All right.
A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't care what y'all say. A win is a win.
I'll take it. A win is a win.
Okay.
I'm very happy for him.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing it. It took everything in my body spiritually last night to not blow your phone up.
Man, you should have called me.
No. Because I wasn't going to say nothing. I was just going to let you hear him running down the sideline and people saying, oh, my God, look at him. Oh, my God, look at him. Then he would lined up at wide receiver, and I was going to have them do that again for you. I was just going to play those clips, not even say hello to you. Just let you hear Bijan Robinson and listen to them, as the kids say, glaze over how good he is.
Speaking of glaze,
he was on point last night against a Buffalo Bills team that is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. He showed up and he showed out. And all I want is the respect put on his name by Mark Henry, because this guy has shown up every week.
I was very impressed with last night.
But now he got to show you again.
At the end of the season, we'll reevaluate this conversation. And then I'm going to have a physical crown in my hand, and I'm going to present it to this camera like this.
Where you going to get it from? Burger King?
Is that guy? Yeah. How did you know?
I already know.
How did you know?
Because it always has to do something with food.
Oh, my God. Boy, you're psychic.
I know. I think I know my partner over here.
You got ESPN.
I do. And Plus. I got them both. I got it all. But, yes, all I care about is you giving this guy respect. And you know what? You get another opportunity to do it again, because they play on Sunday Night Football next week against the Detroit Lions.
Oh, man.
So prime time again. And I think they put them in prime time so you will be able to see them, because they know that
because of me?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They letting you know that you're going to have to put some respect
way
on.
Too emotional about it.
Bijan.
Why don't you have this same kind of fervor for our Cowboys?
Because we also know what that's about. I got you. Wait a minute. Hold on. You think I don't? You think I don't? How many times do I got to come in here and defend Dak Prescott? I defend Dak every single week, and his numbers are MVP-esque. His defense is not.
They're not.
they are not.
I like how you said they are.
Because I can't cuss.
You almost said it. You almost said it.
Because I cannot cuss. I cannot cuss. So it is to
join
the
point. Club, man.
Man, I'm just saying.
Drop one real quick.
Here is the facts. Bijan Robinson, for what he's doing for that football team, he's making Drake London look like a beast again.
True.
Because now
what is the deal with Pitts, though?
He is that guy. Pitts is Pitts, and he is the Pitts.
It's like, how you gonna? I don't know how you can be 6'6", run as fast as he runs, and tiptoe across the middle like you don't want to get your prom dress dirty.
He used to be the superstar. I mean, when he was at Florida, that's why he became a number one pick. That's why. And then he gets there, and he probably got gun shy because of all the things that were happening around him, and it was an emotional time for him. And now you got some other guys. Now this is the time for Pitts to take off too, because they're focusing on Bijan. They're focusing on London.
He should have the whole middle of the field to cook.
Should be able to cook.
But he's afraid to run across that middle, Hardge.
Yeah.
And I mean,
most
Atlanta's going to have to make
unless
a
you Michael
decision.
Irvin, and you the only one.
I would dominate this league.
I would run across the middle. They used to try to kill me out there. You don't tell me I can't play here, man. Yeah, it's a lot. Coming up next, we got Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, as they had a bye week, but now it's time to get back to work. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
AM 1300, The Zone.
Heading southbound on I-35 at Yarrington Road, a crash blocks off the left lane, causing a 15-minute backup. That starts from FM 150. The right lane's blocked off by a wreck on 183 southbound at Highway 290. And some good news on the 290 toll road westbound. The earlier stall at Giles is gone. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
New Dell PC with Intel Core Ultra helps you handle a lot when your holiday to-dos get to be a lot. Like organizing holiday shopping, responding to requests, and customers requesting custom things. Luckily, the Dell PC helps you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside. Get yours at Dell.com/deals.
Hardge here. Autumn nights in Texas call for big plays and even bigger savings at Covert Chevy in Hutto. Take $12,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST, or grab $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom. No haunted gimmicks, just bold trucks, big savings, and a Texas family tradition. That's Covert Chevy in Hutto, right off of 79 in Hutto, Texas. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
Your Valpak Blue envelope of savings is arriving in the mailbox. Inside, you'll find coupons to dine, shop, and save local. This month, keep an eye out for special offers from A1 Garage Door, the name you can trust for repairs, service, and garage door replacements. And remember, savings don't stop at the mailbox. Visit Valpak.com anytime for instant access to local coupons and deals you'll love. Valpak and A1 Garage Door, opening doors to savings at home.
The pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. Crafted with our signature espresso and real pumpkin sauce. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The PSL. Get it while it's hot. Or iced. Only at Starbucks.
No matter your mood, there's JLab headphones for you. For travel, the J-Buds Luxe over-the-ear headphones are a must. And they're super comfortable. They come with active noise cancellation and 70 hours of playtime. The new Epic Pods ANC, super sleek design, comfortable, over 40 hours of battery life. The J-Buds Party Speaker is a necessity for all your backyard barbecue action. Find the blue box at Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and more, or find them on Amazon and JLab.com today.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
And Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
I'm Julian Edelman. That's Rob Gronkowski. And guess what, folks? We're teammates again. And we're going to welcome you guys all to Dudes on Dudes.
Dudes on Dudes.
That sounds a little weird, but that's what this is going to be. Roberto, what's Dudes on Dudes?
Well, I'm a dude. You're a dude, and Dudes on Dudes is our brand new show, and we're going to see who the ultimate dude really is.
The premise of this show is going to be, we're going to highlight players, peers, guys that we played against, legends from the past. We'll get into the types of dudes. What kind of types of dudes are there, Gronk?
A lot of different types of dudes. We got studs, wizards. We got freaks.
Or dudes.
We got dogs.
We'll break down their games. We'll share some insider stories and determine what kind of dude each of these dudes are. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're going to find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and X. Go to Apple Podcasts and write a review about dudes that you want us to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show. Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, the home of the Houston Texans. And that is why we have to go down to H-Town and talk to our guy, Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans. The Texans had a bye week, but they got a chance to see a lot of things happen within the league. Yesterday, Tennessee Titans decided it was time to make a change. So there's an opening there. but the Indianapolis Colts still seem to find a way to win. Jacksonville, they're trying to figure it out, and the Texans are sitting in third place as of today. How you feeling about the bye week?
Oh, I feel great. I love having a little weekend off. I wish it was later for the guys because I think going 12 weeks in a row is tough, but it is the NFL. Lots of teams have to do it. You can't complain. The schedule is what it is. But Indy winning was terrible. They got Jacoby Brissett going opposite them. He used to play for them. And they get a chance, the Cardinals do, to win the game. Can't pull it out. That would have really helped. The Jags cooperated by losing to Seattle. That was very nice. And I want Seattle all fat and happy when the Texans go in there on Monday night to try to pull off the upset. I haven't even checked the line. I assume that the Seahawks are favored at home in that one.
3.5.
And as far as the Titans go, 3.5. Okay, so as far as the Titans go, that is no surprise at all. I thought it would have happened last week had they not pulled out that weird game against the Cardinals. And they clearly needed a different direction because the coach and the GM aren't of the same ilk, right? The GM needs to hire his guy to coach Cam Ward. And it's too bad for Cam Ward and that team, but I'm not going to shed any tears or sing the blues for the Titans.
I didn't think you would. So now you look across the NFL, and as you said, this week you have Los Angeles traveling to Jacksonville. You talked about New England and Tennessee playing this week. You play on Monday night, which is outstanding. I love the fact that it's a Monday night football game. We get to watch the Texans nationally. And Indianapolis is going to take on the LA Chargers. This is a wide open week for your division.
Yeah, it is. And I think the real movement will start when the Colts schedule really starts to get a lot stronger. The Colts will get the Texans twice, obviously. They have some really tough matchups when you look, especially after their bye. So once we get into November and beyond, it's going to get a lot harder for Indy. And I need it to because they are 5-1. They're looking really good right now. They got a lot of offense. And I think the defense is good enough to keep them in games. Now, beating the Cardinals, no one's going to throw a parade over that, but you'll take the wins. I'll give you a contrast, though. Last year at this time, the Texans were 5-1, and we were thinking, oh, my gosh, 5-1, this is so awesome. But then they ran into some hard times and struggles and injuries and whatnot, and the Texans ended up having to pull off a big game against the Dolphins late, beat the Jags down there when they were desperate for a victory. They got bludgeoned by the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas. I won't relive the whole thing for you, but they went 10-7, won the division again. But after a 5-1 start, you were thinking, man, I was expecting maybe a few more wins down the stretch and go 11 or 12 total on the season. So you never know what's going to happen with Indy. I know it gets tougher schedule-wise.
Mark, the Seattle Seahawks are a winning team, 4-2. How being a defensive team, how is Houston going to match up against Sam Darnold?
It's going to be tough because the Seahawks have really good offense and really good defense. You look at points per game allowed, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but they're sixth in scoring defense, something like that, and in scoring offense, they're top 5. So they're putting points on the board. They're stopping the opponent. That's usually a pretty good recipe for success in any level of football. And I think you're looking at a balanced team that's well coached. They won 10 games last year and did not make the postseason, and that was with Geno Smith. And I don't know what happened to Geno Smith, by the way. He turned back into New York Geno Smith when he went to Vegas for some reason, because in Seattle it was magic water or something, Puget Sound. It activated him in a way we had never seen before. And now it's doing the same thing for Darnold, who looked so good at Minnesota last year. Darnold has become a terror, and he's good against the Texans. They beat him as a rookie, but Darnold beat the Texans as a Carolina Panther, and he also beat them as a Minnesota Viking. So he's trying to beat the Texans with his third team, and I'm hoping he can't do it.
They're plus 49 in the point differential. The Seahawks are going into this weekend. But what does this mean for the week off for the Houston Texans? Did he get some guys back? What's the latest on Joe Mixon? Because he has been the biggest mystery all season long.
I don't understand it, and I don't know. And I doubt we'd see him this week or anytime soon, because we'd see him in the building at practice, that kind of thing. I think they'd be a little bit more, I don't know, they'd amplify whatever the message is on Mixon. I think they're just hoping for the very best here. So I'm not counting on Joe Mixon to walk through that door soon. And if I were the coach, well, the coaches know way more than I do, but that's just how I feel about the situation. This is your team right now. If you get Joe Mixon back, great. I'd love to get Tank Dell back. I think if you could get Tank Dell back at any time this year, that would be miraculous for so many reasons. It would help your offense, and the fan base would be so energized by it. If you could have Tank Dell come out of the tunnel at NRG Stadium, the roof would come off. I mean, the place would get so excited. They love Tank Dell. They can't get enough of Tank Dell. So we'll see about that too, because you see him around a lot. Some guys are around the building a lot when they're hurt, when they're recovering from whatever. Other guys aren't. And Nick Caserio addressed this last week. He said it's okay no matter what, as long as they're working on it and the team's okay with what the player is doing. And I guess they are with Mixon.
Well, we know that Stingley's going to have his hands full with Jackson and Jigma. What about the third corner for the Texans? Because Cooper Kupp has been playing really good these last 2 weeks as the third wide receiver and playing in the slot. Like who does Houston have that'll be able to defend that?
Yeah, you know what? They'll have to figure that out because Jackson Smith and Jigba was unbelievable against the Jaguars, and he's having a terrific campaign with Darnold, who seems to have found his Justin Jefferson type receiver in Seattle. And you mentioned Kupp, who caught a touchdown on Sunday. I'm not sure how they handle it. They'll do different things in the slot. They have not been afraid to mix it up. I remember the first year with DeMeco Ryans, they would not travel Stingley much, and then all of a sudden the playoffs, they traveled Stingley. So I think Stingley travels with Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I think they feel very comfortable with Lassiter watching him as well, because Lassiter is one of the better corners in the league, and they can mix things up that way. And, they'll put Petrie in the slot. Jalen Smith I think he's ready to come back and start practicing. I think the window's going to open for him very soon. So it's possible that he's available. They are just beginning game week today, guys. So the players officially come back from the bye today because it's game week Monday, because Monday is Sunday. You get my drift here. Mm-hmm. They won't even have an injury report out until Thursday because that's a regular game week Wednesday. We'll have a quiz on this later, by the way.
I think I follow.
You lost me.
We're gonna go back and listen to the tape. We'll have the tape. But I do want to know what's going on with C.J. Stroud. Does the bye week help him even more so, breaking down film and getting his timing with his wide receivers, because there's so many new guys within the organization?
Here's the thing. With these teams, with their records, you have to always look at the schedule, right? Look at Buffalo. Buffalo had a nice record. They go in last night. They lose to Atlanta. Monday night, I'm not into the dark arts, as they call them, but Monday night home underdog is like a lock, right? So Atlanta took care of business against Buffalo, but look who Buffalo has beaten. It's not that impressive, and they lost to the Patriots at home. Look at the Colts victories. They're not really – Denver's okay, but they coulda, woulda, shoulda lost that one too, but give them credit for the W. Not that impressive. As far as the Texans schedule, the 3 losses were against good teams with good records here, and they were all very close. They got a lot of confidence. The offense did. C.J. Stroud, they really flexed their muscles against bad teams, against the Titans and a depleted Ravens team. But that's a good thing because it enabled them to kind of get going. I just think it really helped them get their stride offensively. But now they got to take it up against good teams. You got Seattle. Then you have San Francisco at home, followed by Denver and Jacksonville. These are all winning teams. These are all teams with lofty ambitions, and you better figure out a way to perform well against them. So if I look at that next set of 4 here, look, in a normal situation, if you had a fat record right now, like 5-1, I'd say, all right, go ahead and go 2-2 in this stretch. They got to find a way to go 3-1 in this stretch, because after that they get the Titans, and I'm not going to say it softens up a bit, but you get into the division more, and you'll figure it out from there. I think this is really going to help them. The bye, help CJ, help the offense, help them feel good about themselves, that victory. When you win going in, I always feel like it's winning twice, right? Because you feel good about yourself, and you felt good during your weekend off. But you got to keep your edge and maintain it, and maybe take it up a few notches as well, considering the competition.
There he is. You can always hear him. You can actually hear him Monday night as the Texans travel to Seattle, but you can hear all the action right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Mark, as always, man, we appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck on safe travels.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate it. Thanks.
No doubt, no doubt. There he is, Mark Vandermeer. Coming up next, you know what time it is. WWE Hall of Famer and World's Strongest Man, D. Mark Henry, brings you his World's Strongest Take right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
2 left lanes are now blocked off by a crash on I-35 southbound at Yarrington Road, causing a 20-minute backup that starts from FM 150. The right lane remains blocked off by an accident on 183 southbound at Highway 290, and there's reports of a crash on Highway 45 eastbound before Highway 130. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Because it probably can be.
Hey, Longhorns Nation. Saturdays in Texas means burnt orange, big plays, and of course, ice cold, refreshing Bud Lights. So crack open the official domestic beer of Texas football and keep your tailgate rolling. Whether it's the brisket on the pit or friends yelling hook 'em, make sure the cooler is always ready for your team. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Sarah at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
I've always dreamed of a beautiful kitchen, but my wife just wants to stay organized.
You know what they say about opposites.
That they can't agree on a kitchen?
Well, IKEA kitchens come in many styles with a variety of customizable organizers. So maybe you're not opposites at all.
Beautiful and organized. Now we just have to figure out what to eat.
That's a different department. Get the kitchen of your dreams at a price you didn't dream possible at IKEA.us/dream kitchen. Dream the possibilities.
It's a little quiet on the border these days. Illegal border crossings at an all-time low because Donald Trump and Senator John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn has led the charge in the Senate, funding more agents, more technology, and more miles of secure border wall, beating back Biden's border failures, taking the fight directly to the cartels. Cornyn stands with President Trump, voting with him 99% of the time, supporting Trump's nominees, confirming conservative judges who defend our Constitution, and together, Trump and Cornyn put America first. They've worked to keep our families safe and our border defended. Yep, it's quieter on the border now because real leadership gets results. Call and thank Senator John Cornyn, 713-572-3337, and tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda. Paid for by Lone Star Freedom Project, LoneStarFreedomProject.com.
Don't let your property tax bill surprise you. Set yourself up for massive savings next year with Ownwell. Their local tax experts work on your behalf to help you keep more of your hard-earned money. Make sure you're only paying what's fair with Ownwell. Sign up in under 3 minutes at ownwell.com/ownaustin. Ownwell's local tax experts specializing in property tax protests in counties like Travis and Williamson can protest your county tax assessment and determine your eligibility for exemptions. Plus, Ownwell will manage the end-to-end process of property tax reduction. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes and only pay if you save. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive reductions, and last year more than 30,000 Austin homeowners switched to Ownwell. Ownwell is trusted by hundreds of thousands with over 90,000 Austin properties represented and glowing 5-star reviews. Stop overpaying and start saving with Ownwell. Sign up in 3 minutes at ownwell.com/ownaustin. That's OWNWELL.com/ownaustin.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather, sunny skies through your Tuesday, a high near 90. Clear tonight, a low of 63. Wednesday, sunshine, a high in the low 90s.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
New Dell PC with Intel Core Ultra helps you handle a lot when your holiday to-dos get to be a lot. Like organizing holiday shopping, responding to requests, and customers requesting custom things. Luckily, the Dell PC helps you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside. Get yours at Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's Ed Helms, host of Snafu, my podcast about history's greatest screw-ups. On our new season, we're bringing you a new snafu every single episode.
32 lost nuclear weapons. You're like, wait, stop? What?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of history, a whole lot of funny, and a whole lot of fabulous guests. Paul Scheer, Angela and Jenna, Nick Kroll, Jordan Klepper. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Snafu with Ed Helms, and listen now.
Longhorns football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
You know what it means when that beat drops? It only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and World's Strongest Man brings you his World's Strongest Take. Take it away,
Hardge,
what's up?
you know what time it is? It's time for the World's Strongest Take by the World's Strongest. My God. Back then, they didn't know. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Well, boys, I spoke too soon. And I've said this before.
Right. About Bijan.
Many times I've been wrong. But not on Bijan.
Oh, my God.
What I was wrong about was I threw dirt on the coffin of the Kansas City Chiefs 2 weeks ago. And I knew that they were injured. I knew that Rice was not playing. I knew that Hollywood Brown had just got back. And Xavier Worthy got hurt running into his own teammate, Travis Kelce, and missed a couple of games. But I just thought, I think Patrick Mahomes just needs they played too much football in the last 4 years. That maybe they need a little break, and then they'll be all right next season. Well, I was wrong. Because once Xavier Worthy came back, they looked like a different team because it opened up the middle for Travis Kelce. Now Hollywood Brown is back healthy. And they went from being an offense that struggled to score 20 points to now they're blowing the doors open. Rashee Rice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Isaiah Pacheco are both really, really tough players at their position. One at wide receiver and one at running back. Whenever you want to run a screen or you want to run a jet sweep, they usually use speed with the jet sweeps, Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, but the tunnel strings, they hit Rice. And Travis Kelce looks like $1 million when he's the third option, not the first option. And you look at their division. Their division has got guys like, I mean, the Chargers look good, but they're going through a woe is me area right now with all the injuries. The Broncos are still the Broncos. That's it. I don't see the Raiders being able to do anything. They're 2-4 right now. It looks like more of the same when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Him with a healthier complement of weapons makes him the best quarterback in the league, even though Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield are the guys that are playing like it. I can see in these next 2 to 3 weeks, our guy Mahomes, your son's favorite quarterback.
No, don't put that on him. His is Russ.
No, he changed it.
Yeah.
we can see that being a thing right now. I think the Chiefs are back in the running of being one of the top 3 teams in the league. What say you?
I didn't think they ever left, to be quite honest with you. If you look at their plus minus, they're plus 31. The problem is this. The consistency of their defense has to be better. We know what Patrick Mahomes is going to bring every single week. He's going to give you an opportunity to be in the ball game. And you're right, Rashee Rice is going to be back this week. This is first game back. And then you also have what you said about Travis Kelce. They haven't even used Noah Gray this year as the other tight end. You got Isaiah Pacheco running hard, but you also got Kareem Hunt as your short yardage back. You've got things on the offensive side of the ball that is always going to give them an opportunity to be in the ball game. The biggest question mark for me is not only the Kansas City Chiefs, but what's going to happen with the Denver Broncos. Which Denver Broncos team are we going to see?
They're up and down a lot, aren't they?
They should not have lost the game the other day. They ended up losing that game. You also look at what happens with the Chargers, the way that the Chargers play. It is Denver ended up winning the game, but they should have lost the game against New York. If all they had to do is get in field goal range and they make the kick and the game's over, because they didn't look good over in England. But the Chargers are a question mark for me. Can they be a consistent football team moving forward? Because again, you are now ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs and they're getting healthier.
Right.
You have to stay above them. Quentin Johnston finally started catching the ball. He was hurt last week, didn't play. Justin Herbert, he's kind of slowing down a little bit, not looking like the Superman that everybody tried to make him out to be, but he's a consistent quarterback. Is this the move that the Chiefs are going to have to make right now by trying to overtake and get that conference back? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I'm with you. You should never, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Throw dirt on them until they are out.
Listen, this is
they put
the
their hand through
entertainment.
the grave. They put their hand out of the grave, and it came out and said, "I'm not dead yet."
And they kicked out.
They kicked out. Yeah, they kicked out. They got one more. Yeah.
You heard the whole crowd. They go 1, 2, oh.
Yeah, they back. They back in action. So, yeah, you got to be more careful when you're looking at the
This is
Kansas
for
City
entertainment
Chiefs.
purposes only.
Oh yeah. You were 3-3 this past week. You went 500. You all right? You all
2
right?
weeks in a row. That's
man.
It's not good, though.
It's better than being negative.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you've had that week before too.
Hey, listen, we're not going to talk about my
I was right there
shortcomings.
with you. I was right there with you. Hey, I ain't too proud to tell you. Like you said,
How your fantasy doing, man?
I won last night.
All right, good
Because I
for
got
you.
Bijan Robinson. The best
how
player
many
in the
points did
league.
he give you?
The best player in the league, Bijan Robinson, in case you were wondering how good he was. So I just thought I'd share that with you.
I'm not going to argue with you no more today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today.
Bijan went nuts last night. Let me see. I'll tell you
35
exactly.
points?
Yeah, 35.3.
Wow.
35.3. Yeah, I needed all 35 to be able to get a victory. So I could be 500.
Was it convincing or was it
No, it
like,
was
oh, man,
convincing.
I just barely.
No, the dude I played and the dude I beat was undefeated at the time.
So when everything is clicking on your team, you can be the guy.
I can be the guy.
Optimistic.
But I don't have anything clicking, especially when you got a quarterback in New York that can't get the ball to Garrett Wilson. You got Keenan Allen, who's dealing with a quarterback who can't get him the ball. CeeDee Lamb been on the injury report. I got Chuba Hubbard on the injury report, and he might have lost his job. And then I got Quentin Johnston on the injury report. So, yeah, man, it's a little tough.
Yeah, you should have played for the ambulance team.
I was, because I got Brock Purdy as one of my quarterbacks.
Oh, my God.
Out. Carson Wentz had a bye. I had to pick up Joe Flacco.
What did you do?
Joe Flacco got me, though. He got me 18 points this week.
Man.
Thank you, Joe Flacco. Now back to the bench with you. Another world's strongest take by the world's strongest man. Coming up next, we're going to continue the conversation and close out the show. Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The Seattle Mariners are letting everybody know they representing, and Craig Way's Dodgers skate by. Well, not really skating. They got a great pitching performance. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Two left lanes are now blocked off by a crash on I-35 southbound at Yarrington Road, causing a 20-minute backup that starts from FM 150. The right lane remains blocked off by an accident on 183 southbound at Highway 290, and there's reports of a crash on Highway 45 eastbound before Highway 130. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Keeping score of your finances but missed the Bitcoin wagon? There's a second chance called Texitcoin. Score big at texitcoin.org.
The Texas Longhorns rebounded from their loss to Florida with a dominating 23-6 win over Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. It was Steve Sarkisian's third win of the Cotton Bowl, in first with Arch Manning as his starting quarterback. And while Sark complimented his quarterback post-game after the win, he said it all began this past Monday.
You know, Arch took a lot of hits last week. And the biggest thing that impressed me this week about his game, he didn't miss one rep of practice this week. He came back Monday and he was not 100%. He was beat up, but he took every rep. And I think coming out of a game like that, you earn the respect of your teammates. That's the toughness you got to have, and that's the preparation that you have to have.
Get in early on the next big coin and extend your lead at texitcoin.com. This is an investment that carries risk. Texitcoin.org.
Mark Henry here. Did you know that since 1936, Shipley's Donuts has been a Texas tradition? And now Dripping Spring is waking them up. They serve fresh, hot-baked donuts, kolaches, and hot coffee. Get out to 13341 West Highway 290 in Dripping Springs. They open bright at 5 a.m. Grab you a dozen. Okay, grab 2 dozen, but I suggest more than one at least. Shipley's Donut. You can order them online at shipleysdonuts.com or on the Shipley's app. Start happy, stay happy. Shipley's Donuts, West Highway 290 in Dripping Springs.
You love your home, but sometimes it feels like it's running your life. Leaky faucets, overgrown hedges, and that room you've been meaning to repaint. Sometimes it's just too much. With AirTasker, finding help is simple. Post your task, set your budget, and let local taskers take care of it. It's like having a personal handyman for all the projects on your to-do list. Download AirTasker or visit us at airtasker.com today and make your home work for you, not the other way around. AirTasker. Get anything done.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
Looking for top quality permanent fencing for your home or business? Look no further than Viking Fence. With over 50 years of experience in Central Texas, Viking Fence delivers craftsmanship you can trust. Whether you need wood, iron, or custom solution, Viking has the perfect fence to fit your needs. What sets Viking Fence apart? They source the finest quality Western red cedar lumber direct from the mill, the most durable and attractive fence material available. Plus, they offer 3 grades of fence pickets to meet every budget. So whether you want Viking to install your fence or you're taking on the project yourself, call Viking Fence today. They pride themselves on excellent work, outstanding service, and an honest reputation. Call 512-601-8911 for a free estimate. That's 512-601-8911. Or visit VikingFence.com/radio. That's VikingFence.com/radio for your free estimate today. When you think fence, think Viking.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Let's be real, Texas. Egg salad isn't egg salad without Miracle Whip. Everyone from Amarillo to Brownsville knows that tangy zip. So here's to you for keeping it bold, keeping it zippy, and keeping Miracle Whip in all your favorite recipes. Buy now and get your tang on, Texas.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
What a great turn the page Tuesday edition of the morning kickoff that we've had today. I want to thank Joe Cook of the Inside Texas breaking it down and preparing us as the Texas Longhorns get ready to travel to Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. But you can hear all the action right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, because we are your home of Texas football and Texas sports. Also, I want to thank Mark Vandermeer for joining us, talking all things Texans, as you can hear those games right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone as well. A lot has changed in college football. We talked about the fact that James Franklin has been fired, and now a lot of folks are trying to figure out who is going to be the one to replace him at Penn State. Matt Rule's name keeps popping up. Aggie fans, better pay attention. Mike Elko's name keeps popping up as well, and so many others. But right now, I think it's time for those guys just to hold on to what they got and stay locked in to where they are. NFL action, you saw what happened with the Titans. They fired their head coach, Callahan, and now you got to try to figure out who's going to be the best one to replace him. And this is a perfect example of firing somebody just because. Like, Vrabel should have never been fired as the Tennessee Titans head coach. This goes back to what I was saying. What more do you want from them? Now you get rid of him, and in the last 2 years, your team is now 4-16. 4-16. Vrabel's gone to New England and turning that program, that organization back around, playing good football, but yet you still believe that all of a sudden I got to make a change. I'm fine with the change with what they did just now, because it wasn't working. They were arguing with each other after the games. They were arguing in the media. It was a lot that was going on. But the fact still remains, when you fire people, you better have a plan. And if you do not have a plan, you're going to be stuck in that spot. Just like right now. They are stuck.
Like, who are you going to go out and get?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is your move? You have to have a plan for something.
One of your existing assistant coordinators or former head coaches will take the job as an interim.
Well, they just brought up I think it was their offensive coordinator, Stewart, to be.
But that's, when you don't have experience coaching.
But it's the same guy. He's been there. Nothing's changed. Like, he's been in the organization. He's not an outside influence. He is somebody that was there coaching with this guy that you just fired. He hired him.
This is more the same.
Exactly. Well, what are you going to do different? I don't know. This is my first time being here. Well, let's just work it out together. That's what it was before. And now you got a quarterback that you went out and drafted first overall that is frustrated as all get out. And then let's transition somewhere else. Then you look at what's going on in Miami. That's just an absolute.
You said you had another clip for me.
I do. Because he's not good. But before we get into that, let's talk a little baseball before we listen to him. Baseball action last night. Big time win for Seattle. Seattle beat the Blue Jays 10-3.
Let's go.
3 home runs in the game. Rodriguez, Polanco, and Naylor jump out and win that game. And the Dodgers defeat the Brewers 2-1 behind Blake Snell, who went 8 innings, 1 hit, and 10 Ks. Another masterful performance. He has been lights out in the postseason. Is 3-0 and continues to win.
Seattle is doing what I want the Yankees to do. You'll have your stars lead you into the playoffs and do stuff. Kyle Riley is cracking home runs. He's always getting a hit that scores, an RBI that scores. Like, he's the guy that's doing everything.
Yeah.
Like, why can't Judge do that. You can't never have Judge be the guy, regardless of how many MVPs he wins, until he wins the championship.
Well, here you're gonna have to wait till next year for that, dog, because they at home. There's only 4 teams left, and the Yankees are not one of them.
I know. I'm still frustrated, man. It just itches when you have all the pieces, but
you might want to go see a doctor for that if it's still itching. Marcus, play the sound of McDaniel.
Give me some of that cream.
Well, I mean, now that I've heard of them, you know, you guys caught me before I heard them, so it was kind of like, I mean, it doesn't surprise me whatever reaction. I think, you know, regardless of an intent and you know what was onto his mind after a loss as the franchise quarterback. That's not the forum to displace that. I think he knows that now. I do honestly believe it was not. There's no ill intention, but you're talking about you know, I think kind of a misguided representation of player orchestrated film sessions. And you know, the bottom line is no one's going to be happy and always is looking for reasons for failure to succeed. So you're trying to look for reasons that
most of this was happening because of the fact of what Tua Tagovailoa was saying after the game. He said that players were missing meetings, players only meetings, weren't showing up for him, for film study, player-led film study, not coaches there. It was all about players meeting, and people were showing up late, and Tua got frustrated with it, and he brought it to the media, and now Mike McDaniel had to cover it up and talk about it and all these other things. But the point of the matter
I'm not mad at Tua, though. I mean, he's trying to get extra film study for a team that's failing.
Tua threw 3 interceptions in that game, and one was the convincing one. You cannot be a leader if you're not the one coming in and handling you. That people look, you know that. People will look at you crazy if you come in there and talk about, man, y'all got to be here on time, and you show up late every day.
Well, he's not showing up late. He's just throwing interceptions.
Yeah, and that is too much. And that's why the whole thing is kind of crazy. That whole thing is off the rails in Miami. We've already talked about it. Mike McDaniel's on the sideline with them coaching shorts that they call
Bro, he had on capri pants.
He and Aaron Glenn, and both of them are 1-11. They 1-11 combined with the coaching shorts on. And what's the name was wearing them the other day? McVay. I think they lost the other day. He wearing them.
See it's the pants.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
But you listen to that interview, Hardge, and you can't tell me that he sounds sober.
Yeah. Well,
and it's not
right
anxiety.
Now
it's not anxiety.
Right now he's probably not, because his team has been getting whooped, so he's dealing with stress.
Hey, you know what? No anxiety for me right now, because you know what I'm about to do?
What, you finna go get your pie?
I'm finna go get this lemon meringue pie. By the way, that banana cream is delicious.
Don't worry. What? Why are you always messing with my stuff? Hey, shout out to our girl Kimmy from LFG. She paid off her debt to us. We placed a bet. If Mark and I, if we would have lost, if Texas would have lost the game, we would have had to take pie to the face. But instead, we're gonna put pie in our stomach. So thank you to Kimmy from LFG Catering. I want to thank Marcus. I want to thank Mark. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. But check it out. Let's do it again tomorrow. And just remember this: don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace. Hardball Hardge here, and they say everything's bigger in Texas. And at the Yellow Rose, that includes your Friday